Okay, hi, hello. So today we're going to be talking about the Vidyadhara from Honkai Star Rail. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to be trying to explain the concept of Vidyadhara to you as quickly as possible. Since last time I went over autism and talked about Dan Heng, this time I'm going to talk about the Vidyadhara to talk about Dan Heng even more. Can you tell there's one point of connection between the videos I'm making? The Vidyadhara, also known as long scions, are a humanoid long-life species with draconic features, descended from Long, the deceased Aeon of Permanence. Not to be confused with preservation, because for a second or two I did mix those two up. The Vidyadhara are primarily found in the Jianzhou Alliance. Now let's talk about history. Long, the Aeon of Permanence, not to be confused with preservation, let me say that again. Long was the progenitor of all dragons, known for the creation of their scions and the revelation of permanence. Now I say their scions and not Vidyadhara because the Vidyadhara are not the only members of the scions. There's more of them. We may figure out what they are, we may not. Long journeyed through the universe to find the meaning of life. They found the answer at the end of their life, the revelation of permanence, or they found their answer at the end of their life. To be honest, I couldn't find exactly what this revelation was. I looked through like everything that I had, and also this Aeon isn't even in the databank. I think no one really knows the ideals of this Aeon except like there's one penman in the Intelligentsia Guild, and they said, quote unquote, Long could have defined the meaning of existence to be the timeless nature of one's greatness.
Could the revelation of the permanent signify the timeless nature of one's greatness?
So too long didn't read, he created them. He's the creator of the scions, and in that is also the creator of the Vidyadhara. The Vidyadhara originated from a region in the waters of the ancient sea known as the Roiling Deep, on an unnamed ocean world. They could use their powers from Long to transform into any creature, quote unquote, as easily as children playing with modeling clay. The Vidyadhara has a tradition of choosing high elders who are like the leaders of their clans, and they possess the power of their dragon ancestor. Now, as I said, the Vidyadhara started in this unnamed ocean world, but as they started to lose like power, when they could no longer control the power of their dragon ancestor, I'm guessing because the Aeon passed away and the power all of the creatures in the ocean became deadly to them. Quote unquote, the fish were toxic, the sea beasts hostile, and even the aquatic plant life could prey on them. So again, TLDR, the planet like rejected them when they couldn't use this power from their ancestor. You know, like how a piercing rejects sometimes? It's like that. Things got to a point where they could no longer live there, so in a sense they were pushed out of that world that they used to have. The entire delve of the Scale Gorge waterscape on the Jianzhou Luofu was said to have been brought over from their homeworld. They basically made an alliance on the Jianzhou where it said, quote unquote, this oath shall remain unbroken, standing stronger than even earth and steel. So 5 high elders were chosen to keep watch of their respective places on the Jianzhou. In the Jianzhou Luofu, the place that they're protecting is the Ambrosial Arbor, and the leader, the high elder, is called the Imbibitor Lunae, which we know from Dan Heng. And then also, Bailu is going to be the next Imbibitor Lunae. I'll get to more stuff about the history later because I'm trying to keep this as organized as possible. So we're going to be talking about Mara and the Molten rebirth that they go through. So Vidyadhara go through a Molten rebirth. Vidyadhara molt after living about 600 or 700 years. It repairs their bodies and they hatch anew in these pearl-like eggs that I think are shown in the game, kind of. They hatch anew from like these pearl-like eggs, with their past memories completely gone. Now this happens because Vidyadhara can't like reproduce, so they take this rebirth very seriously, because when one of them like permanently dies, they die for good. There's a very large chance of them dying out completely if they aren't careful with like rebirth. When one of the Vidyadhara reincarnates, they can either be reincarnated as like the opposite gender or the gender they are. Alright, so we're gonna be talking about well-known Vidyadhara. The first one is called Yubi. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but it's Y-U-B-I-E. That's the high elder that closed off the Ambrosial Arbor, that thing that Dan Heng opens up to fight Fantilia. The statue at Dragon Vista Hall, I'll put on the screen, that was erected because of that. Also, as a reward, the Alliance granted the Vidyadhara the Xian show Feng who? Dan Feng. He is the last High Elder, not Bailu is going to be the next one. I don't know if they consider Dan Heng the Elder right now. So the last High Elder was Dan Feng. We know he was a member of the High Cloud Quintet, along with Jingliu, Jing Yuan, Blade, and Bai Heng. Am I missing someone? So, Dan Feng was a member of the High Cloud Quintet. Now, there's a lot that they did. I'll link a video below because the stuff about the High Cloud Quintet could be a whole video of its own, but I don't want to focus on that today. I want to focus on Vidyadhara just as a species. If you want to see more about the High Cloud Quintet, I'll leave a link below, or I'll put it somewhere on the screen. So, Dan Feng went on to commit a crime in the Luofu. A lot of people know of this already. So what he did was he used this thing called the Transmutation Arcanum along with the flesh of an Emanator of Abundance to try and revive Bai Heng, his friend. Now, if you're wondering what the Transmutation Arcanum was, same, I had no fucking clue what it was. So in Bailu's character story, it's mentioned that the role of the High Elder is passed down using the Orb of Absalom and the Transmutation Arcanum. Basically, the one who obtains the Transmutation Arcanum gets all the memories of, the past High Elders. So TLDR, again, Dan Feng messed with some important mechanism in the rebirth cycle, whatever, and used the flesh of an Emanator of Abundance to try and revive his friend Bai Heng. In doing so, he broke the laws of this Xian show, quote-unquote, embracing immortality and breaking the ban, thieving immortality, and inciting riot.
Dan Feng guilty of unpardonable sin. In light of past merit, the sentence shall be commuted to molten rebirth and eternal banishment.
Why did you take this path?
Hand over the Transmutation Arcanum and the preceptors will spare your life.
It's all because of you.
Next we have Bailu.
External heat needs inner cooling. Internal heat needs outer soothing. And if you're still not sure, there's more than one cure.
Lady Bailu found her!
How did they find me?
So Bailu is the next High Elder, or she's going to be High Elder. She's a medic who takes care of many patients. One of her patients I will be mentioning in a minute, and she looks young, which is probably because slow development is common amongst Vidyadhara. Okay, then there's Jinyu, who's a patient of Bailu's. Basically, Jinlu goes through the molting rebirth, but it happens way faster than it's supposed to for Vidyadhara. She has a hatching rebirth every few months. Bailu states that this is an extremely rare, 1 in a million condition that she is unfortunately unable to treat. The last Vidyadhara of note is Dan Heng.
Weak heartbeat and pulse. March, you better do CPR.
Huh? I've never done it before. Dan Heng, you do it. Wait, stop it. They're awake.
Now, we know Dan Heng. He's on the Astro Express. He goes with us to different planets. He's part of our journey. He's the love of my life. Dan Heng has done a lot of big things, or things of note, including opening up the Ambrosial Arbor for one, and helping with the Stellar crisis on multiple planets. We know Dan Heng. He's kind of important. And unlike the rest of the Vidyadhara that we know of, his story isn't tied to this Yansho Alliance like Dan Feng's is, or like Bailu's is, because he decided to leave this Yansho Alliance and travel amongst the stars, and that's cool. Also, Dan Heng was the inspiration for this video. If you guys want me to do a deep dive into Vidyadhara, let me know. This was me just scratching the surface and pulling out what I thought would be important information. There's a lot that I didn't get into, and a lot that I left out of this because it's more complicated than I'd like to explain for this video. So I feel like I forgot stuff. There's so much information that I tried to pick out what was important, and I probably missed so much. So I hope you guys like it. If I missed something important, let me know in the comments below, because I definitely did. The next video may not be as informative as this one. It may be just a Reddit story video, and that's cool, right? Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Dan Heng, quit daydreaming. Give me a smile. Another one. Say cheese. Huh?
Are you alright?
Just reminiscing.
Huh? Reminiscing? About what? Come on, tell me!
Let him be, March.